It's Tuesday, September 29th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Lawmen in Barbados need the right tools, including modern facilities, if they are to successfully arrest the crime situation. That's the view of Dr. Justin Robinson, Professor of Finance at the University of the West Indies, Gayville campus. Professor Robinson made the comments as he delivered the feature address at the launch of the book entitled Policing a Dynamic Barbados, written by former Deputy Commissioner of Police, Bertie Hines.
If we are to have the police play the role we want them to play in our society, police stations and offices cannot be the dingy old places they currently are. You know, I was, certainly as chairman of the NIS, I was especially pleased to be involved in the funding of that citizen security project, where we repaired the male barracks at Blackrock and that spanking new police station in Hastings. And I think that needs to become the norm. When we experience crime, we want the police to be there for us, but we ignore the fact that they work really in substandard conditions most of the time. And we must find the money. I mean, I think we must find the money within our resources to radically improve the physical infrastructure surrounding policing. The police need to be able as well, along with that, embrace the new technologies. Policing, I think, is not going to be effective if they can't develop an effective social media strategy. That is the world we live in. So the police's presence, in terms of interacting with the community, the police need to develop a presence within social media. And that cannot happen in the police stations we have now. We need modern facilities with all of the Wi-Fi, the bandwidth that they can engage society that they are asked to police.
The Democratic Labour Party will most likely select and name their candidate to run in the upcoming by-election in St. George North this evening. The update from DLP President Frela de Pisa, who tells Barbados Today that within the next few hours, the 5 people who have expressed an interest in representing the party, including Calypsonian Colin Spencer, will be narrowed down to just one. De Pisa says the DLP is ready to battle for the constituency on behalf of the people of Barbados. Now, political leader of the ruling Barbados Labour Party, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, has yet to announce the date for the poll. However, she has named trade union leader Senator Tony Moore as the BLP candidate for the seat, which was left vacant after Member of Parliament Glenn Clark stepped down after 26 years of representing the St. George North constituency. His resignation takes effect tomorrow, September 30th. The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed severe inequities in and among countries and highlighted particular vulnerabilities of certain population groups. Director of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Caricia Etienne, made the disclosure yesterday as she addressed officials throughout the Americas, including Prime Minister Mia Mottley, during a virtual meeting for the 58th PAHO Directing Council. She told the forum the pandemic also laid bare profound structural weaknesses within health and social protection mechanisms in the region.
This pandemic, which has had a devastating impact on every facet of our lives, has impaired the physical and mental health of our populations, overwhelmed our health systems to sometimes near breaking point, trampled our economies, disrupted our social interactions and social cohesions at many levels, and placed a glaring global spotlight on the inequities that continue to persist in individual countries in our region and across the world. We have had to face the sobering fact that inequalities can result not only from differences in the social, economic, ethnic, and other determinants of health, but also from differences in the very systems of governance in the region. We have witnessed that persons in relatively low-paying jobs, including those in the informal economy, who could not work remotely, and those whose living conditions did not facilitate adequate physical distancing, were at greater risk for infection.
Minister of Home Affairs, Information and Public Affairs Wilfred Abram says the Barbados Postal Service can play a critical role in the socio-economic development of Barbados. He made the comments as he addressed yesterday's launch of the Barbados Postal Service new agency services and the signing of an agreement between the Postal Service and the Barbados Association of Retired Persons. With the agreement, BARP members can now renew their membership and pay their life insurance policies at any of the 17 post offices across the island.
Government holds the view that the post office can play a critical role in the socio-economic development of this island. It facilitates certain forms of communication in spite of the competition of technological advances. Its role in the development of businesses, namely small, medium, and micro enterprises, will come increasingly to the fore as the organization seeks to diversify its business model as part of the ongoing postal reform process. Financial and package delivery services will continue to be the pillars on which the Barbados Postal Service of the 21st century will be built. The Barbados Postal Service, as an organ of government, is already receiving payments for the police certificate of character. More recently, you would have seen us engaged in the delivery of passports and the renewal of driver's licenses. The goal is to continue to expand the range of government services being provided by the Barbados Postal Service's delivery process and its agency services, that is, receipt of payments on behalf of third-party entities.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from our region now. Jamaica recorded more COVID-19 cases and 4 more related deaths over a 24-hour period. The death toll related to the viral illness now stands at 93. As we hear in this report from Television Jamaica, 10 more patients are critically ill with the virus as cases continue to climb.
The latest victims are a 73-year-old female from Trelawney, a 92-year-old male from Clarendon, 2 other males aged 57 and 95 from Kingston and St. Andrew also died. All the deceased individuals had underlying conditions. Meanwhile, the country's coronavirus case count now stands at 6,170. 153 cases of the coronavirus were recorded yesterday. The latest statistics provided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness show that there are 10 critically ill patients. Another 26 persons are moderately ill. A breakdown of the ministry's largest figures indicated that Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine and St. James recorded the most new cases. Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 53, St. Catherine 32 and St. James had 25 cases.
And finally, on the international front, the global death toll from COVID-19 reaches 1 million. The figure, which United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres described as an agonizing milestone, comes 9 months into the crisis that has devastated countries around the world.
Our world has reached an agonizing milestone, the loss of 1 million lives from the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a mind-numbing figure. Yet we must never lose sight of each and every individual life. There were fathers and mothers, wives and husbands, brothers and sisters, friends and colleagues. The pain has been multiplied by the savageness of this disease. Risks of infection kept families from bedsides, and the process of mourning and celebrating a life was often made impossible. How do you say goodbye without holding a hand, or extending a gentle kiss, a warm embrace, a final whispered, "I love you"? And still there is no end in sight to the spread of the virus, the loss of jobs, the disruption of education, the upheaval of our lives. We can overcome this challenge, but we must learn from the mistakes. Responsible leadership matters, science matters, cooperation matters, and misinformation kills. As the relentless hunt for a vaccine continues, a vaccine that must be available and affordable to all, let's do our part to save lives. Keeping physical distance, wearing a mask, washing hands. As we remember so many lives lost, let us never forget that our future rests on solidarity, as people united and as United Nations.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.